everyone. Welcome to another episode of I Can Do This All Day. I'm Dan, the part-time Avenger, and with me is Mark, the resident Jedi.
Hello there. Today we're going to talk about the new completed Marvel Disney Plus TV series. If you look over Dan's supple white shoulders with his fancy hoodie today, we're going to talk about Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. And why did we want to review this again, Mark?
I think it's because Marvel put it out and we can talk about Marvel all day.
Yes, that is true. Did you know anything about the character of Moon Knight?
I knew absolutely nothing about the character, and if we didn't do this podcast, I don't think I had great motivation to watch this like out the gate. I wasn't jumping on it. I didn't watch episode by episode, mostly because of, and I'm going to hate myself for saying this, but mostly because of the Book of Boba Fett. Like Disney Plus shows have gotten a little, I'm just going to wait until the whole thing plays out. Started with WandaVision and has just gotten worse. And I'll tell you, I am okay with that decision because I don't think I could have sat a full week in between some of those episodes and actually been like, well, I guess I should watch the next one.
Okay, fair enough. I knew very, very little about Moon Knight. The only thing that I had heard, and this is from, I want to say, some message boards or things that I read on Wikipedia or anything like that. But basically, going into this, I was under the impression that Moon Knight was like a crazy version of Batman. Like it's the Marvel's version of Batman. And so I'm thinking like, great, because I don't really like Batman all that much. I'll love a Marvel version of it. And this guy is supposed to be fucking crazy. And so I'm thinking like, okay, cool. I wonder how they're going to play this. And so that's what I went into it as. Did you hear something similar?
I heard the Batman reference, and whoever said that is fucking wrong. Like, so wrong.
Well, maybe in this iteration, apparently in the comics, that is the case because I've heard it from multiple people. So, I mean, it is what it is. But going into it, right? So let's just break it down into the characters. Mark Spector, Stephen, and Jake Lockley, played by Oscar Isaac. I thought that was like the right spot of the entire show. Oscar Isaac can do no wrong. He's been in so many good movies. You've got Ex Machina, Triple Frontier on Netflix. He was really good in that as well too. He was in X-Men Apocalypse as Apocalypse. I'll forgive him for that. But I love the actor. And of course, you can't forget about the Star Wars sequel trilogy.
I mean, you can if you try. And maybe Apocalypse is what got him into the Egyptian thing. But Oscar Isaac, I think, is the last really good actor that could have pulled off playing two completely different people with two completely different accents and done it in a believable nature for this show. That would have had the right I don't want to say ethnicity, but
because I don't even think he's Egyptian, if I'm not mistaken.
He's Jewish. That's a religion, not an ethnicity, but he is Jewish.
Okay.
Because he goes to the Seder, right, for his mom, and he's got his yarmulke. I think it's Seder. No, it's not Seder. It's where they sit with the body for 12 hours before after death.
I'm very uncultured when it comes to
so he's
things like that.
He's Jewish, and it seemed to be more of like a very strict Jewish faith upbringing, right? Because they sat and they did all of it seemed to be that. So that's not like you're not pulling Tom Cruise into that role, though he already had a flop Egyptian movie recently, so you wouldn't.
But Oscar Isaac, I don't think, is Egyptian. That's
Oscar
what I was
Isaac,
thinking.
like himself? No,
Yeah,
he's I
I want
want
to
to
say he's like
say,
Peruvian or
yeah, Peruvian
something
or
like that.
Colombian or something like that.
Something
Yeah,
like that. I don't know.
yeah.
But
I've heard Oscar Isaac say, um, ethnically pleasing
yeah,
is how he could, and I thought it was really funny because he's very passable for whatever. But I'm glad that they put somebody in the role that wasn't like, you know, I was talking to my wife about who else could have pulled this off. Like who else could have pulled off two distinct different personalities that's not already in the MCU somewhere. And I'm like, I mean, Adam Driver could have pulled it off, but he would have looked completely wrong for the role.
if Christian Bale wasn't in Thor, dude, Christian Bale can
Again,
do no
he's
wrong.
he's already in it. He's
Yeah,
already in the MCU. You can't.
very true. But Christian Bale could play any character, just like Kevin Smith loves Ben Affleck, and he could play any character. Like Christian
You
Bale
love
can be,
Christian Bale.
yeah, any character.
Do you
Doesn't
wake
matter.
up to the soundtrack from Newsies?
I've never seen Newsies.
Oh, Christian Bale did some wrong, my friend. As a
I mean,
young child,
it's like 9, right?
it
So
doesn't matter. It's bad.
okay,
Oh,
well maybe
that
we'll
that could be your punishment for the bet for the Thor bet. But I've got other things in mind.
if I like Christian Bale, I might actually like it.
I
So I
know
don't know.
that's why it doesn't make sense. It's just.
But anyways, so back to Mark, Steven, and Jake Lockley, which was a fucking wild card right at the end there. Um, I mean, overall, I love the duality. I love the fact that he played them as two different characters, and three if you count the one in Espanol line that he said. You know,
All the
that's
way at the end in
very,
the post-credit scene.
I don't know where the hell that came from. And I didn't read the comics. I'm not exactly sure who the Jake Lockley personality is and how it fits into everything, but it's a cool concept. I just wish that they would have explored it more because I hate cliffhangers on shows. I just fucking hate them. And I don't know if we're going to get another season of Moon Knight. I don't know if we're going to get Moon Knight in general and any other facet.
It seems that now Moon Knight, having no knowledge of the character in the comics, could be set up to be more Batman-y because he doesn't have mystical magic beak powers anymore.
But he does.
No, he doesn't. He gave him up.
Khonshu is still
But
like Jake
Khonshu
Lockley.
only has, so you would assume, and this is just an assumption, right? Haven't read the comics. Somebody could totally school me up, but my hippo senses tell me that the two dual person, if you've got dual personalities, what about a third one? There could be a third guy. He was the third guy. He was the extra badass Navy SEAL dude that got him out of all the other stuff. Like it went from really, 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 really calm and peaceful to kind of BA to whoa, crazy. Holding up. How about that? So I mean, it could have been that Khonshu retained that somehow. It didn't come out on the boat because there were only two hearts. So I don't know how or where that came from. Again, it doesn't make. You can pick out a lot of holes in the story that we should have seen it, and maybe I missed it. Maybe while I was trying to keep my eyes open to a very slow-moving, boring story, like I missed it. But Oscar Isaac, do no wrong, 100% agree.
All right. What about his counterpart, Layla?
I like that they cast it in the in a proper ethnic manner. I like that she was a good actress. I don't understand when she turned into Wonder Woman 84 at the end. I don't. I, I the hippo doesn't have wings. Hippos can't fly. What's going on here?
It has something to do with her father's nickname for her, I think. Something with the red scarab or whatever. I think that's like the personality that it is. So the avatar themselves, right? Um, that is just the avatar of, or well, they become like the superhero type thing. Like Wonder Woman 84 is what her powered up version is. Just like Mark and Steven's powered up versions is Moon Knight, or
Or
lots of
sweater
toilet
vest.
paper or a
Sweater
really cool
vest.
suit.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love the sweater vest thing. That was
Um,
really funny.
yeah, fantastic. And so I think that's part of it. And I think, I can understand why you would have thought, like, well, where the hell did Wonder Woman come from? Well, it's because we've only seen one person suit up, if you will, because none of the other gods, none of their avatars suited up. They were
Yeah.
all in normal garb.
And I make the Wonder Woman comment not because I had a problem with the fact that they gave her wings or something, but the fact that they did like shot for shot things from Wonder Woman with the wing thing and the crossed arms. I'm like, come on, God, come on, come
I'll
on.
be
This wasn't
honest,
directed
I
by Patty Jenkins. What's going on?
I loved it when Layla just showed up all badass and everything. Very much like how Wong showed up and Doctor Strange was like, holy shit, that's an ass kicker right there. That's so
Oh,
awesome.
I was gonna say like Wonder Woman showed up in Batman versus Superman. That's what I was gonna say.
Mm,
Sorry.
yeah, no, I mean, yeah, sure,
You
sure.
say Wong, I say Wonder Woman. It's
But
okay.
it's more of like, you expect Wonder Woman to show up and be badass. I was not expecting Layla to show up and be a legitimate badass. I know she had some skills and everything, and obviously they're very in their whole clandestine and spy-like behavior. But in terms of beating some real ass out there, that was pretty sweet that I was able to see that, in my opinion. But I like their back and forth with each other, especially her trying to grasp on to who the hell am I talking to? Am I talking to Mark? Am I talking to Steven? What the hell is wrong with you? And her willingness to accept it was interesting because it it took a lot longer than I thought it would take for her to become trusting or even buy that there's another personality. So, granted, it was a short series. I think it took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, which was a surprise.
Okay. I I I mean for me, it I was surprised that she got it and was just like, "Oh, yeah, this happens all the time." Obviously. Like
Yeah,
like I guess if you're married to somebody, you might know that they're crazy. I mean, let's be honest, if you marry a crazy, you know you marry a crazy. And it's just if their crazy aligns with your crazy. So what kind of crazy does Layla have? That's what I want to know.
I mean, I don't know if it's so much crazy as it is that she's just a badass. She's like,
She's got crazy roundhouse kicking or what? Is that it?
yeah,
Roundhouse.
crazy skills. That's what it is.
That's it.
Going on to the actual god that is looming over Mark and Steven's shoulders, if you will. Khonshu. F. Murray Abraham as Khonshu.
I got used to the disembodied voice. The thing that really lost me with this and this series in general is there's other Marvel properties that dig into religion or lore, right? Thor, Loki, Odin. That's they talked about it with the Tesseract a little bit, but they did not beat it to death. And I feel like this it was like an Egyptian show. It wasn't a Marvel show. It was like a new version of the Mummy with mummies. So while I appreciated the voice acting and the character as the guide or whatever, like the flawed god guide, but it's just I just was like, why are we watching the there's this is this the pyramid night? What's going on here? Eventually I got it and it's okay, but it was just like way too much of I need to read you this mythology, all of it. I need to read you. It's like, here, study this. This could literally be a college class. Like, there's some Egyptian historian, like college professor, that is gaga over this show and is like, I'm going to connect with my children now. I'm going to connect with these kids.
Well, I think that's a good thing, like maybe it's just not your not your bag, but the fact that it's trying to, and I don't know if this is accurate. I'm assuming that it's somewhat accurate, but I thought it was an interesting dive on the different types of gods, and they may be only in the comics, maybe only in the TV series or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea, but I thought it was a very interesting dynamic, and the fact that Stephen was like a historian and geologist,
You can say nerd.
no, not
Nerd's
a
a good
nerd,
word.
someone
He's
who's
a
a,
nerd.
a scholar in certain
A
things.
scholar.
But it was cool to be able to kind of see that. So the fact that they were paying that much attention to detail, I appreciated it. And
You needed somebody in the plot to explain to you what the hell was going on. Steven wasn't like intelligent. Steven was like the narrator to tell you why the hell you're doing this thing. They found an idiot savant to narrate on the side to keep the audience going, instead of like in Dune 1984 where they had to just use big overcasting closed captions. Like they just got Steven to caption it for you and walk you through it. If it's like in comics where there's like the big yellow box of paragraph and info, Steven just read the box for you, basically.
that's
That's
okay.
what Steven did. But he wasn't a tour guide. He wasn't allowed. He had to sell the sugar. Couldn't be the tour guide.
But that was fine. To me, that's okay. That is a comic coming to life. And so I had no problem with it. No problem with it at all. With Khonshu and Amit, I didn't quite understand as to what Khonshu's beef with Amit was. I really didn't get it. And I still don't understand it.
I
right now.
call it the and you're gonna like this. I call it the Minority Report justice approach, where you haven't done it yet, but you're gonna. So I'm gonna kill you. That
which was Amit's.
which was Amit's. And I think that Khonshu thought that people could be redeemed, much like Mark Spector, who did a lot of bad shit, but in the end ended up in the field of reeds, which is heaven.
I don't even know if
It wasn't Iowa. It was heaven.
I don't even know if Khonshu thought that people could or should be redeemed. I think it was just like, we're gonna play this as the chips land, and we're gonna fuck people up if they've been bad. That's the only thing I could think of. I didn't think that he was looking as a redeeming type of god or a benevolent type of god. I don't know.
It's the baby Hitler ask. If you could go back in time and the only time that you could see Hitler was when he was a baby, would it be okay to kill him knowing that he would be Hitler? Amit says yes.
Yeah. What about the other guy? So your friend right there, I believe it's Towerit. I don't know. I might be saying it wrong. Hilarious when he shows up.
It was great. It was great.
Just the cute little voice, just like, oh, hello, like, what the fuck? And just the end of the episode was like, where do we go from here? Like, what the hell is this all about? So I thought that was kind of funny.
He was the Porg or Korg. Who's the rock guy from Thor?
Korg.
He's the Korg of the program. Every Marvel show should have a Korg.
It's pretty awesome. I don't even remember the name. I had to Wikipedia the name up afterwards. All I thought of was the Hippo Lady God is how I referred to her. Mm-hmm. And that right there, though, is kind of disappointing in the whole plot and the impact of the character and the show, because here I am thinking that I enjoy the show because Oscar Isaac. I enjoy it because of Layla as well, too. And Khonshu is kind of like this bellowing motherfucker that's just like, kill them all, fucking kill them all. It's just hilarious to me. And then you've got this god, which you can't remember the name. I'm not sure if it's just because I was checked out or just the fact that like I don't know if they really ever said the name, but
it's because you didn't read your fucking Egyptian history. That's why.
Yeah, probably. But
We know what to send you on Amazon. We'll put it on your wish list.
I please
Gods
don't,
of Egypt.
please. Um, what about? Well, we haven't talked about the main antagonist, which is Ethan Hawke wearing them glass slippers, bleeding all over the floor. Arthur Harrow.
This was a poor casting. You do a great job getting Oscar Isaac and Layla to look of the region, and then you get the
The white
whitest
guy?
guy. Yeah, you get the white guy in
I,
there.
I think it's intentional. I don't know.
I don't like it. I was not that wasn't for me. And you know what? And it may be because I don't understand fully, or maybe don't have a great grasp on the regional, just the regional physical features. Maybe that's it, maybe Ethan Hawke looks like he could commonly be from somewhere near Egypt, like Israel or something like that. But in general, to me, is like, you're a little too white for this, Ethan.
Was there any other white people as gods?
There was some multicultural folks. I know there was the
Yeah.
Asian guy there, but I can't remember for him to be two different avatars. And one of them be Oscar Isaac and the other one be me. I mean, I don't know. It didn't work for me. That's all
Okay.
I'm saying. That was
That's
his acting was great. Ethan Hawke's a great actor. I was just like, oh, Marvel, go all the way. Go the whole way. Don't just do it all.
I
They're
think it's all
doing.
right though, because like you have if you want to be, I think it's probably mildly satisfactory to different type of ethnic backgrounds to actually see, oh, everyone else is a good guy, and then here's a white guy as a bad guy. Finally, at least another, at least a show or some type of Marvel property or something like that. And I'm not saying like there are not people that are villains that are of Caucasian background or anything like that, but it's just I don't know.
You bring up
I
a very
didn't.
good point, because that used to be a thing. It
Oh
used
yeah,
to it used to be, oh, the white guy's the good guy, obviously.
yeah,
And then, oh, well, he's ethnic. That must be the bad guy. You don't know it yet, but he's the bad guy.
exactly,
So no,
exactly.
I respect that. That's a very good call out.
But I don't even know if that is where they were going with it, or if Arthur Harrow, true to the comics, if that person was white. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not 100% certain. I'm probably never going to read the comics. Moon Knight did not grab me and be like, hey, you need to catch up on these comics. There's a lot of cool stories, which I'm sure they're cool storylines. But as of right now, I am not invested in finding out more about the character. Thor, Chris Hemsworth as Thor made me want to read up on the character or learn more about the character or become even a fan of the character. Um, Oscar Isaac made me a fan of Oscar Isaac more, not necessarily Moon Knight more. But yeah, I didn't have an issue with Ethan Hawke. You must not be a Before Sunrise fan. I'm not sure, but all right. So what about Mark's parents? So I wanted to save this one for last because I've got some strong opinions on the parents.
From an acting perspective, I thought they were great. I thought they fit into the. I keep going to ethnic, and I don't know why, but I just it I've had a lot of equity and inclusion conversations this week at work, but I do think that if you're going to do something of the area, you get the right people in it, and I thought that they were good. I thought that they were cast good. I thought that the father showed great regret. I don't know who the actor and the actress were, but I thought that they deserved some credit, because I mean that's a hard for to be able to show that level of emotion in that limited amount of screen time, and to do it that way was great. And that was the first scene that brought me into the show. The rest of it, I was like, what is this? Abbott and Costello meet the Mummy? but with Oscar Isaac as both Abbott and Costello, what's going on? And then you understand that it just goes deep. It's like a sinkhole. It went so deep, and it was completely unexpected for me. Maybe
Yeah.
I was just walking blind.
No. I mean, I think one of the things, knowing that mental illness was a part of the Moon Knight character, I was like, I don't know how the hell they're going to do this. This is on Disney Plus. Wendy Spector, Mark's mom, what a bitch. What a bitch.
Dude, it was
And
borderline. It was borderline Dewey Cox. Like, wrong kid died.
yeah. And it wasn't even borderline. It was. She said
Straight up.
that you
Straight
should have
up.
freaking died instead. You killed your brother. And I felt so bad for it was like I never before have I watched a Marvel show or even a TV show in general to where I was like heartbroken for like, that fucking sucks. Because I don't know, maybe just being a dad now, it's like there are things, unfortunate things that happen among siblings. And I've got two boys, so I naturally kind of connected that as like, oh God, what if that happened? But the fact that Wendy Spector went Rick James ice cold on him and was just like, oh my God, that was like, that was cold blooded. That was fucking ridiculous on how cold and how mentally ill that she was as well, just because of that tragedy.
And how much the dad just kind of made excuses for it
Yeah.
and brushed it under the rug. I think that that's something that when we were growing up was very common, is people didn't put as much like trust into, like therapy or counseling or anything. They just thought it was weakness.
Yeah.
And side note, did you have a talk with your kids about staying out of caves after this?
No. But I was watching this with them, and I kept on peeking over at them to see if like they were making little sad faces or welling up with tears. Because I'll be honest, I think I was pretty damn close to welling up with tears, seeing that as like he's calling out to his brother in the little cave and everything like that. I'm just like, holy, or was he the big brother or little brother? I don't remember, but yeah, no, I don't think they understood it, which I'm fine with 100%. But maybe one day when they revisit this later on as they're adults, they'll be like, it'll hit the same way that it hit me.
Yeah. It did follow the classic comic book trope of, if you are in danger in a cave, you will eventually be a superhero.
What other superheroes?
Batman.
No.
Doesn't matter how hard you fall.
Yeah, that's one. Is there any other ones?
One other ones fall into a cave, dude.
I don't know, man.
Saying.
Some of them fall into vats of electric eels and they turn into villains. So you got to watch where you fall.
Purpley blue villains.
Yeah. So I thought that overall, so that kind of going into the whole plot with the mental health aspects, I thought that was really, really not refreshing. I think that's the wrong word to say, but I thought it was really brave of them to tackle that. And I think they did it very, very well. And, the viewers got it, at least, it got me, hit the chord. And the fact that they were able to kind of move on and continue on with that storyline and say like, yes, this was a huge tragedy, but at the same time, how are we going to reconcile this? How is Stephen and Mark going to reconcile? Which, by the way, they never did, because apparently Jake Lockley likes to speak Spanish and execute motherfuckers. I don't know.
Say hello to my little Jake. I think that Marvel's been very brave with a lot of their shows, right? They tackled inequality with Captain and the Winter Soldier, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, eventually Captain. They tackled grief with WandaVision, and here they tackle mental health with Moon Knight, and this is very Marvel. and people watch this and they're like, this isn't comic books, and this isn't comic booky. These are people that didn't read comic books as kids. These are people that didn't listen to Stan Lee talk about how he had to make things accessible for readers, for young people to read, and actually make comics not educational, but it taught you a lesson at the end. That was the big thing. That was where I thought we were well educated as kids growing up in the 80s, is everything had a lesson at the end. GI Joe taught you a lesson. Everybody came back and had a little thing at the end, even Jerry Springer. But Marvel tackled big issues as things went on in the world. Marvel tackled them. And this is a great example of Marvel continuing in that socially responsible path that they charted, in ink and pen.
And I think they did it a lot better in the TV shows in comparison to the movies.
The
They
movies were
really put a
meant.
spotlight.
I don't think the movies were meant to do that. I think that I don't know, because the movies are based on one, and you want reviewing, and that's not a movie formula. But the TV shows, they had the opportunity to make you think, and I don't think they've shied away from that, which is, I think, great.
What would you say that the GI Joe lesson, the more that you know lesson, is for Loki?
Don't let crazy women kill the guy behind the guy.
I really don't know if there was a much larger issue. Now it could be just vanity in itself, and self-acceptance. I don't know, but neither here nor there.
I think we'll find out more in season 2 of Loki. I
don't-
really hope. I really hope season 2 of Loki is episode 5 and 6 of Moon Knight.
I don't know if I necessarily want another season of Loki.
It's happening.
I know
Like,
it
you
is.
don't. It doesn't matter if you want it or not, buddy. It's coming.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Tom Hiddleston is Loki. Awesome. And Tom Hiddleston, and he's also like another actor that can do no wrong. Put him in whatever, with the exception of James Bond. I don't think he's the right James Bond, but put him in anything else, and I'll probably watch it. So, back to Moon Knight. So, did you understand what was going on from episode to episode?
No, not until the end. Like, I was like, are they really trying to tie this Egyptian thing together? Like, is this the mummy? Where's Brendan Fraser? Is this a goof? Come on, man. And then, like I said, episode 5 brought the mental health piece into it, and the brother. I think that was episode 5. As soon as they talked about his brother dying and him creating Steven in his mind, and that's where Steven came from. Because you thought, I mean, you didn't know, was Mark a ghost? Was he possessed? Was it something like that? Like, you know, it could be whatever. But then when you could have been Agatha all along. But in this case, you got really some. It really, for me, focused it. It took this everything and pulled the string and lined it up for me, and then I was cool to watch it. Then I was at least into it. Did I like the end? Did I like the Power Rangers battle at the end? Eh. But overall, it wasn't terrible. Didn't love it. Not on my rewatch list at all. Not even close to my rewatch list.
Have you rewatched any of the Marvel TV shows?
Recently, no. But at first, I definitely rewatched Winter Soldier, like when it came out, and then I watched it all again. Loved Winter Soldier, but I'm a Cap fan, you know that. WandaVision, I think I watched the last 2 episodes to get really the unfold of it, but the TV episodes were meh for me. Loki was just too damn confusing. And you know me, I watched the Star Wars stuff a bunch.
I've had no desire to go back to Loki. I do not have a desire to go back to Moon Knight, although, and I might need your take on this. So at the end, when Harrow gets shot. Did that actually happen in real life,
Yeah.
or did it not?
Oh,
Because now I'm confused. I thought in real life he got shot, done, but he was a patient, correct?
but he was a patient at a, yeah. I don't
So
know.
unless this was at like a separate, separate mental health facility, now I'm thinking like I don't know if it was.
Well, let me ask you this. According to movie lore, if you die in your dreams, you die in real life. So does it matter?
I guess I don't know. What if it's a dream within a dream?
Again, you die, you die.
It's true.
They covered this in Rick and Morty. They also covered it in Nightmare on Elm Street.
They also covered it in the no, that wasn't it. I was gonna say
Inception.
I just saw the Adam Project tonight, and have you seen it?
Yeah, I gotta watch it again. I need to watch it again.
So good. I wish that movie wasn't on Netflix because that's something I totally would have loved to see in the theaters. Now I know it was in theaters, but Netflix or the theaters, I'm picking Netflix.
Same.
So, really, really good movie. I really like that. But, anyways, so yeah, I mean, I think we were pretty. It was okay on Moon Knight. It's not blowing my skirt back.
It's one of those that when you've got like a boring weekend and nothing to do, you can consume it all at once. But again, it's not something that I'm coming to every week and so excited. What are they going to do next with my favorite characters? What are they going to do with these obscure Egyptian people? That's what I thought. And
Yeah.
and I'll be very candid. I had to watch this in 3 separate sittings, not one, because I fell asleep multiple times. Given I was on some pretty heavy duty cough medicine and some antibiotics, but that should not have put me to sleep as early as it did.
Yeah, no, I get you. If you were to, I don't know, give like a letter grade on this, I mean, where do you think it would be?
C plus.
C plus. I
C's
would
get
say
degrees.
just because of the awesome Wonder Woman-esque scene with Layla, the lightheartedness of the Lady Hippo, God tower it, and also the whole mental health as the whole that part, along with the story of Mark and Steven as little boys. I thought that was like just okay. This show is so much deeper than almost everything else that they've come out with so far. So that's why I would give it like a B plus, A minus. Now, am I going to watch it again? I mean, maybe, but I doubt it. So I'm a big
This
fan of rewatchability, and like if you can rewatch it, then oh, that lends some credibility to how good it is. But I don't know if I would rewatch this again. But to be fair, I don't know many TV shows that I would rewatch, with the exception of X-Men the Animated Series and The Office.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't want to call it the midichlorians of the Marvel universe because people bash it a lot, and Loki is definitely worse. But it's just I normally like a backstory, but I like to know I'm hearing the backstory when I'm hearing the backstory. I don't want to go through the Inception maze and Leonardo DiCaprio, Scooby Doo, open this door and you show up in that door to realize I'm being told stuff about the past. So it is a good, it stood on its own. It wasn't Batman versus Superman, right? It wasn't like I can't watch this because it makes me angry. It was more like, yeah, come on guys, let's speed this up. It could have shown Layla and Mark at a cafe in Paris
With
waving
Alfred sitting
at
over
Ethan
there.
Hawke. Yeah, no, but I'm just saying it could have. done some things to set up what comes next. It could have shown if Layla stays the avatar for, hypocrisy, the ship captain. I don't know where it goes from here, and it's just as confusing as episodes 1 and 2, the way it ended.
So speaking of on what's next, how do you think this fits into the MCU? Do you have any theories? Do you think it even fits in the MCU at all?
I don't know how. I don't know how it can. I'm confused a bit. I'm hoping Marvel isn't doing that thing they did with all of the TV series on the CU, where they're like, "Oh, this is just here. Haha, you watched it. Great." I mean, they did bring in the Daredevil actor. They brought the end of WandaVision into, the multiverse of madness. So I mean, they're not doing that entirely, but they may leave some of it. They may say, this one wasn't that good. Maybe we shouldn't just add to it. But I mean, they're making a bunch of they're making more Ant-Man, so who knows?
I don't know how they can fit this in. Not to say I don't want them to fit this in, but I just don't know how. Unless he's going to be teaming up with Blade and Dane Whitman or something like that. But even then, I just don't know how an overpowered god is going to fit in to any of, whether it's a future Avengers storyline or whatever. I don't know.
It's the same reason I'm not upset that Morbius isn't in the MCU, because how do you fight Morbius? It doesn't make sense as a character. It was an oops. Move on.
Morbius, you can totally fight. If Wolverine had wooden claws, Morbius would be dead.
Oh,
That's it.
oh
Sorry.
man. Or if you just had some garlic shawarma, it'd be
Yeah.
over.
So I think that wraps it up, Mark. We will see you next time when we talk about another movie. But until then, I'm Dan,
And I'm Mark.
and we can do this all day. We'll see you next time, everybody. Like and subscribe. Have a good one.
Click below what the man said. Do it.